Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to demystify something that's, well, the absolute engine of any business, the Accounting Information System, or AIS. It's what keeps the whole thing running smoothly, and we're about to pop the hood and see exactly how it works. So, here's what's on the docket. First, we'll tackle a super common problem. Then, we'll look at the solution and, break down how it all works. After that, we'll jump in a time machine to see how we got here, check out some of the slick tools involved, and finish up with why all of this really, really matters.
All right, let's kick things off with a scenario that, well, it might hit a little too close to home if you've ever tried to build something from the ground up.
Okay, so picture this. You've got Shane. He starts a little business giving tennis lessons. Easy enough at first, right? But then he gets popular. More clients, more money coming in, more expenses going out, and pretty soon he is just drowning in a sea of receipts and invoices. He has no earthly idea if he's actually making any money. That right there, that's financial chaos, and it is a classic sign of a growing business.
You know that feeling of being completely swamped? It's actually a good sign. It's a signal that you're growing, that you've outgrown your shoebox of receipts method. You need a real system. And that, my friends, is where the Accounting Information System makes its grand entrance. Now, when you hear system, your brain probably jumps straight to software, right? But an AIS it's more of a concept, a framework. It's a way of thinking about how to manage your financial data. And get this idea has been around forever, way before computers. We're talking pen and paper ledgers. The goal then is the same as it is now: bring order to the chaos. So what's the magic here? How does an AIS take that messy pile of receipts and invoices and turn it into something, useful? Something that actually helps you run your business?
I love this analogy. A single sales receipt? That's just flour. It doesn't tell you much by itself. But when you combine it with all the other ingredients, all the other receipts, and you process them together, that's when you get the finished cookie. And that cookie is your total revenue, something you can actually sink your teeth into.
And this whole baking process, whether you're doing it by hand or with some fancy cloud software, it really just comes down to 4 basic steps. It's super logical, really. First, you have the input. That's you entering data from an invoice. Then, processing. The system crunches the numbers. Next up is output. Bam, you get a beautiful income statement. And finally, storage. It all gets tucked away safely for later. Input, process, output, storage. Simple. Okay, so that 4-step recipe is the core of it all. But what's really wild is how technology has allowed us to bake like a billion cookies a second. It's all about the scale. Let's take a look at a classic example, Macy's. When they first opened up shop way back in 1858, their entire accounting system was just a book, a handwritten ledger. Every single sale was written down by hand. And on that first day, after all that careful, painstaking handwriting, their grand total for sales was $11.06. Yep, $11.06. You can handle that with a pen, no problem. Okay, now let's hit the fast forward button to today. It's the same company, but now they've got stores everywhere, a huge website. Yeah, you could say they're operating on a slightly different scale. We're talking over $24 billion a year in sales. Can you even wrap your head around that? Trying to track that by hand? No way. It's just impossible. And that massive jump is exactly why we needed computers to step in. From the first clunky payroll machines to the scanners you see at every checkout today, it was an absolute game changer. But here's the thing. Just having a computer to write in one giant digital logbook wasn't gonna cut it. To handle that fire hose of data, businesses needed a much smarter way to sort all those transactions. So what was the big idea? Simple, really. Stop chucking every single transaction into one giant, messy general journal. Instead, a modern AIS uses what are called special journals. The analogy here is perfect. It's like going from that one junk drawer in your kitchen where you throw everything to a beautifully organized tool chest where every single tool has its own specific spot. And this is how you organize the constant ebb and flow of business. You split things up. You've got a journal just for sales on credit, another one just for purchases, one for all the cash coming in, and one for all the cash going out. When you do this, the whole process gets way faster, and, crucially, you make a lot fewer mistakes.
All right, so we've looked at the problem, we've seen the solution, we've even peeked under the hood at the mechanics. Now let's bring it all home. Why does any of this actually matter in the real world? What's the payoff?
Look, a good AIS isn't just about bookkeeping. It's the central nervous system of your entire operation. It's what gives you the trustworthy reports you need to make smart decisions. It's what you show the bank when you need a loan. It's what keeps you on the right side of the tax man. And maybe most important of all, it tells you who owes you money and where your cash is going. It's your company's health check, all in one place.
And don't think for a second this stuff is standing still. The journey from pen and paper to the cloud, that's just the beginning. We're talking about AI, big data, blockchain. These aren't just buzzwords. They are actively transforming accounting as we speak, giving us smarter insights, automating the boring stuff, and making our financial data more secure than ever before.
Which brings us to one last big question for you to think about. As all this amazing tech gets better and better at crunching the numbers for us, what's left for us to do? Well, the system can give you all the data in the world. It can automate the what happened. But figuring out the so what, the vision, the strategy, the next big move, that part is still and always will be powerfully human.